Hey you guys, it is me, Laura. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 3, 8, and 11. And today's video is supposed to be just a fun day in the life of our medieval unit study. I like to do a day in the life to go along with each of our unit studies so you can see a little bit of what it looks like. However, this video has turned into a little bit of a different focus. Instead of it being focused on our medieval unit study, I struggle with mental health. I have persistent depressive disorder, which means I struggle with depression on and off a lot. Now, over the past year, I have been doing so much better, and I think I've gone the longest time I have ever gone without having a depressive episode or being really depressed. But the last few weeks have been really hard for me, and depression has really started to creep in. We've had some pretty big stuff going on in our lives, and it has been a challenge. And this particular morning, I had slated in my calendar to do a day in the life, and I woke up in the morning. Well, the night before, I was already struggling. I was hoping I'd feel better in the morning, but I woke up in the morning and getting out of bed felt like climbing Mount Everest. I didn't think I could do it. It was so frustrating. I was struggling so much. And part of me felt like I'm not going to get out of bed. I'm not going to do anything. But then I realized how important it is to talk about mental health, especially in relation to homeschool, because a lot of what we see online is the best days, the best parts of the days, even if they're not the best days. And I wanted to chronicle this experience. So if maybe you have some kind of chronic illness, or if you're struggling with mental health as well, this could be maybe an encouragement for you and to help you see that you're not alone and you can still do this. Now, one thing that's really important to note with today is the fact that I was filming actually gave me some energy and helped me to do more than I would have normally done. However, as you will see in the video, because I pushed myself on a depressed day, I ended up crashing at the end of the day. And you're going to get to see what that looks like as well and how we handle that in our home. So this is a little bit difficult to put out. It feels in some ways like, I don't know, I'm really putting myself out there, so please be gentle and kind with me, but hopefully this will help you see. And I'm going to share with you on this day, more than just focusing on the medieval unit study, though we will talk on that, I'm going to share with you kind of how I was feeling and what was going on in my mind throughout the day. Just looking at the footage, it looks like a normal, happy day, like of a family homeschooling, but there was really a lot more going on than that. And so I want to be real and honest with you guys and share with you a little bit about that experience. Because of my struggles, this is going to be a complete voiceover. There's going to be a few little clips here and there, but I didn't talk to the camera much because I just wasn't up to it. I didn't get dressed all day, and you'll see that some in the video as well, and I didn't worry if the kids were dressed or not either. As I said, I was really struggling the evening before. I did not prep for the day like I usually do, and when it came to getting up, it was very difficult for me just to get out of bed. And by the time I was able to actually pull myself out of bed, everyone else was already done with breakfast. Fortunately, the kids were playing really well, but our morning was kind of thrown off because we usually start morning basket at the breakfast table. So I went ahead and ate. Because I knew I was filming, it actually helped me to have a little more productivity to get the things done that I needed to for the day. So my husband had already put beans in the crock pot for me like I had asked him to the night before. So I went ahead and added all the other ingredients in that we would need for chili for the day. And then I got my prep done that I normally would have done the night before. My prep for day-to-day is pretty easy. It's just a matter of clearing out their old worksheets from their clipboards, and I've already got their new ones in a paper clip ready to go, and just looking over my day and pulling out any extra supplies or anything that we need does not take long. I also wanted to, because I knew that I was struggling today, I looked over my list and I made sure to mark the things that we absolutely had to get done. On days like this, when I'm struggling, I know we might not make it through all of our homeschool, and I don't want to feel like a complete failure. So I pre-decide what we are going to do. If we get it all done, great. I don't ditch it just automatically. If the kids are struggling and I'm struggling, less is going to get done. And at this point, I didn't know how the day was going to go. So I went ahead and marked all the things that I really knew that we needed to get done. One of the things that was really important, normally I will scrap all of the extra stuff, but we are planning a medieval feast at the end of this unit study, and I wanted to be sure to have that grocery list made because the next day is our trip to town. We only go to town once a week because we live pretty far away. and our local grocery store would not have all the ingredients that we needed. So I wanted to get that planned and ready to go. So I knew that that needed to happen. And then there's a few things that we just really need to get done with school every day. So I went ahead and marked those. Normally we do morning basket when we're all together, but on days like today, I'll set up some of the things from our basket, like the logic puzzle and things like that, and I'll just let the kids do it on their own if they want to. And if we don't get to it, that's fine. And I also grabbed the bin of unit study activities that they work on during our read aloud time, and I set those out. They can use it, they cannot, but it's there. But today they were playing upstairs and wanted to keep playing while I read, and they were engaging well and listening well, so I thought that that was fine, and so I started reading to them. Finally dawned on me that I could just go upstairs and I didn't have to read so loud. Sometimes these days I just don't, things that seem really obvious come to me a little bit slower, so I went upstairs and read with them a little bit. Okay, we're going to read about the War of the Roses. Timothy, what do you know about the War of the Roses?
I know that it was one family in the whole war.
Family?
Yeah, uncles, brothers. It was basically the whole royal family fighting. And it went from I think it was either the red or the white rose, into two different roses. The red rose and the white rose. And then they fighted, and eventually the winner became the outer, and then eventually the winner became the outer end of their coat of arms, and then the loser had his full rose was put down then.
Wow.
And that was their ending coat of arms.
Do you have anything else to add to that, Samuel?
No, not really.
Okay, shall we read?
Yes.
All right. The War of the Roses. After we read, when we're using Usborne resources, the kids are really excited to do quick links. So we went downstairs and we enjoyed doing that together. And then after morning basket time, my little one really wanted to do something with me. Sometimes I really struggle with this on these days, and I will be honest, I don't always play with her really well, but I felt like I could probably play a game, so I suggested that, and we played Sneaky Snacky Squirrel together, and that went really well. Just got her last acorn. Yay, Lily! You won! You won!
Yay!
All right. So then it was time to move on to get ready for math. This is the first unit study I've really been trying to incorporate math with our unit study. We're using the circumference books, and right now we're focusing on decimals, and I try to make the main lesson focus more on Samuel's need, unless Timothy has something he specifically needs to work on. That would be a good review. And we'll all do an activity together. Sometimes it's really hands-on, sometimes we watch math antics, and the reality is when we're doing something fun like this, everyone wants to join anyway. So I purposely set the activity to be that way. And then after we do that, Timothy will work on his math lessons for living education. He is almost done with book 3, so he's in the review section. It's pretty easy for him. He's actually trying to do 2 lessons a day so he can finish quicker, and he's very eager for level 4 to find out more about Natty and Hario and Ella and Charlie and Charlotte and all of their stories. And Lily, usually during the first 30 minutes of math, I have her work on ABC Mouse or reading eggs or something like that so that I can really focus in and help the boys with what they need help with. Samuel will work on his math review, and then together we'll do a practice activity or a practice page to work on the skills that he's learning.
.02.
What's another way to say it?
2 point
2
and 200.
Good job. Today, I honestly did not want to make lunch. I just wanted to go lie down. I didn't feel good. I just was not doing well. But I also knew that my husband was running a little bit late of when he usually gets off for lunch, and the meal that we had today, the cornbread, needed to get in the oven. So I went ahead and I just started, and I figured I should just get it in, do what I could. And Lily wanted to come help, and so she was working with me, and she did actually a really great job helping with the cornbread, and it was kind of encouraging to have her working alongside of me. So as soon as my husband came in, he usually takes off about an hour and a half for lunch from work. So he takes off an hour before lunch, and then he eats lunch with us for about 30 minutes and then goes back to work. So as soon as he came in, I was done. I went and I laid down in bed and I just rested until he came to get me for lunch. So then we had lunch together, and the kids wanted to show us some of the things that they had been working on for the morning, so we took time to listen to that.
Welcome to the house at Mulberry Lane. It doesn't look very interesting from the outside, but when you take away this bush and spin it around, here we go, you see nothing but detail and life. Detail and life. I have in the dishwasher, we have dishes being washed. In the oven, we have a pizza cooking. In the cupboard, we have pots and pans. Samuel worked the most on this. And then I have up here, we have more plates and drinks above that. We have mugs, more mugs, and a teapot. Small plates. Apples. A fruit thing, kind of like what we have over here in our kitchen. Then we have the living room, which has a fire.
So normally the kids are supposed to clear the table, help with that, but I was not feeling like I could deal with a lot of people. So usually after lunch I'll have them play outside. So I just told them if they went out early and stayed outside until it was time to start afternoon homeschool, then I would clear the table for them, because today that was easier for me. Sometimes my energy level is so low I can't even do that, especially when I'm struggling with depression. But today I could do it. So I went ahead and I cleared the table. I just sat down and I thought I would try and get some reading done. The kids had a lot of struggle playing today. They needed a lot of my coaching and a lot of my help, so I didn't get a ton of reading done, but I did get a few pages in. My husband gets off work again at 1:30, and then he'll put Lily down for her nap and spend a little bit of time with her. Then once he puts her down, he goes back to work, and he is heavy in work until about 6 o'clock when he gets off, usually a little bit after. Today, he was a little bit late, so I went ahead and started reading from our book basket, and I included Lily in that. I actually only read one book with them. The second book that they chose was a pretty word-heavy book, and I was having trouble reading. So at this point, because I've been pushing myself during the day, even though I'm struggling with depression so much, I could start feeling a migraine coming on. And when I'm reading to the kids and I'm really tired or I have a migraine, I confuse words, I make things all crazy, they sound really weird, I'll read the completely wrong thing, and the kids think it's absolutely hilarious. They love it when I read to them like this. They think it's just the best thing ever. But I was struggling so much that I thought it was best to just stop, because the second book was so word heavy and I was just struggling with it so much. So they were fine with that. They understood. They knew I was tired and not feeling well. So then we jumped right into our language arts block. We start with grammar, and then we do some vocabulary word work, and then Samuel will either do Dreambox Math or he'll do Adventure Academy, and Timothy can do Adventure Academy, or on the math days he can pick whether he wants to do Adventure Academy Math or Dreambox Math. And while Samuel's doing his computer work, I work with Timothy on more of his language arts, and then they switch, and I work with Samuel on some of his language arts, and Timothy will do his computer work. And then by this point of the day, my migraine was actually getting really bad. So I did what I could to help the kids finish up their feast menu planning so that we could get those groceries on order for when we go to town. And my husband said that he was able to get off from 4 to 5. He had a meeting that he could cancel, and he came in and covered for me then. So Lily woke up just before 4, so just before he came in, and then as soon as I was done menu planning with the kids, I went to bed. I was not feeling well, I was not doing well. And then my husband had to go back to work from 5 to 6. That's when the kids have their screen time. So I was still in my room. I was still there if they needed anything. He got them set up on screen time. And honestly, I didn't feel up to eating with the family, so I didn't do that. I just was not feeling good. Now, I had taken some medicine, and that started to kick in. I spend one-on-one time with my kids in the evening as something special. They kind of pick what we do, and we enjoy spending that time together. So right now, we actually finished on this night the Carmen Sandiego series with my oldest. He loved watching those with me on Netflix, and sometimes I can't do it because of the screen when my migraines are really, really bad. Fortunately, I caught this one early enough, and I was able to wear sunglasses that helped and turned the brightness on the screen down pretty low, and we were able to watch that together. And that was pretty much it for my day. That was it for the night. My husband put the kids down for bed, and I didn't finish any work. I didn't do any lesson planning, nothing. That was just it for me. So I was feeling pretty down at the end of this day. And it seems silly because looking back over the clips, it felt like I had a really good day. So that's kind of really the nature of depression, though. Even when you have good days, you just see the bad stuff. You see the things you're doing wrong. You see all the ways you're falling short. You see all of those kinds of things. And my energy was low. I didn't feel good. And it felt like I was failing my family. And today is the day after. I'm doing a lot better today. And I'm doing my self-care, and I will be going to my counselor this week, which I do every week, but I will be going tomorrow and doing all the things that I need to take care of my health. But for me, depression is very much a part of my life, and I'm learning to manage it better. I'm learning how to manage things before I get to that point better. But just because I struggle with these ways doesn't mean that I'm ruining my kids. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad homeschool mom. We all have bad days, and I might just have them a little bit more frequently than the average person. And you might be struggling with some of these things too, and I want you to know that it's okay to do whatever you need to do to get through those days, and it will be all right. For me, having a consistent routine and knowing that I'm at least doing these things on those days is helpful. Days that I completely scrap the schedule, I feel way, way, way worse. So I have my minimum bare things that I try to get done throughout the day, and it helps the kids feel like things are more consistent, and it helps me feel better. But I just wanted to share that with you. You could see a little bit of a day in our lives that's kind of hard, because homeschool can be hard, just because life can be hard. So I hope this is an encouragement for you, and I hope you saw a little bit of how we incorporated our Middle Ages unit study. If you have any questions about things, let me know in the comments below, and I hope that you guys are having a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.